Cambodia is a mystical land, shaped by the forces of the monsoon and the mighty Mekong River. An ancient land, once ruled by a great empire which thrived in walled cities, surrounded by temples and water. Life here is ruled by an unforgiving weather system. A dry season that sucks life from the land, and a wet season that floods the landscape. The ebb and flow of water which dominates this country has created some of the most unique ecosystems on the planet. From vast dry grasslands to forests submerged by swollen rivers. The extreme seasonal changes challenge all who live here. Everything has had to adapt in order to survive. Those that haven't have perished. But it's also because of these changes that this country has become one of the most biodiverse in the whole of Southeast Asia. Mega herbivores roam the jungles. Elusive cats stalk the grasslands. And reptiles lurk in murky waters. This is Cambodia, wild land of the monsoon. Cambodia is bordered by Thailand, Laos, and Vietnam, and in the far northeastern tip lies one of the world's last great wildernesses. The dry forests and grasslands of the northern plains. It's spring, and the dry season is at its height. The wildlife here relies on the annual arrival of the monsoon. Everything is waiting for the rain. The lack of it is making all the wildlife more desperate. They congregate around what little water remains. Waterholes, known as trepangs, are a vital resource. But predators could be watching. Groups of wild pigs risk a visit in their search for food. They quickly root out whatever they can eat. Then scamper back into the safety of the forest. For a nervous deer, the algae that grows on a shrinking pool provides valuable protein. These trepangs are also important for some very rare water birds. Giant ibis are the national bird of Cambodia and were believed extinct until 2003. With fewer than 350 left in the wild, Cambodia is home to 90% of the world's population. Incredible long curved bills are used for probing into soft mud, searching for invertebrates, crustaceans, and small amphibians. But the mud is also disappearing. Normally in pairs or small family groups, they now forage closer together in the shrinking wetlands. wetlands that are also the breeding ground for the tallest flying bird in the world. The Sarus crane stands nearly 2 meters tall and has come here from Vietnam in anticipation of the monsoon. These birds mate for life, but they need the rain to breed. Dust clogs up feathers. They need constant maintenance. Preening is essential in order to clean and straighten plumage and close repairable gaps. A special gland located above the tail produces oil, which also helps condition the feathers. For many, food is getting scarce, and it's a daily challenge to find it. The dry forests here are home to a small population of Assamese macaque. These highly social monkeys live in small groups of adults and juveniles. And they eat mainly leaves and fruit. However, the drought brings meager pickings. The troop are busy eating whatever tender leaves they can still find, and any insect or vertebrate they manage to dig out. Social grooming strengthens their bonds and helps lower stress levels. The troop is waiting for the rains. There is a change coming with the breeze, and the monkeys can sense it. When they aren't foraging or grooming, the macaques quietly sit and watch. The adults' highly tuned senses always working overtime, forever vigilant. These parched forests are also home to predators. The king cobra is well named. Reaching 5 meters, it is the longest living venomous snake in the world. For the macaques, grooming is all-consuming. The cobra tastes the air, searching for prey. It moves so silently in the leaf litter, the macaques only spot it when it's just meters away. The sight of any snake puts the troop on the defense. However, the only prey this snake is interested in is other snakes, including occasionally its own. As dusk approaches, it's time to head up into the trees for the night. But up here, there really is a killer to fear. One of Cambodia's most rare and elusive creatures is waking from slumber. A clouded leopard, the smallest of the big cats. Being nocturnal, it wakes up with a hunger that will soon need satisfying. But as night falls, this cat is not in the mood for monkey. It spotted something else for dinner. They're incredible climbers, with hind feet that rotate backwards, allowing them to hang from branches and descend trees head first. The cloud-like spots on their coat provide camouflage in dappled forest light. Owning the longest canine teeth of any cat for its size, the jungle fowl doesn't stand a chance. These grasslands are not just home to wildlife. People live here too. And in the dry season, they also have to rely on what they can find. Three brothers head out on a quest to catch the family their dinner. Cambodian farmers have been taking advantage of an unusual food source for many years. Their children have become expert spider hunters. Thai zebra tarantulas are plentiful here. Being ambush predators, they wait for hapless prey to wander past their burrows. The young hunters need to be careful. Their quarry will not come out into the open without a fight. Covered in sensory hairs, the spider can feel the slightest vibration. Although only mildly venomous, its formidable fangs would pack a powerful bite. It takes skill to tease it out into the open. Feeling exposed, it becomes highly defensive. The children know exactly how to trap and handle tarantulas. They rarely get bitten. Several more will be caught before it's time to head home. These hairy critters are a good source of protein for the family. After being drowned in water, the unlucky spiders are ready for the fire. The flames burn off the unwanted hairs and cook the meat inside. Everyone tucks in. Catching these arachnids inside their forest floor burrows won't be quite so easy soon. It's May, and the rain is coming. The long-awaited monsoon season has begun, but it's only showers at first. Enough water, however, to trigger new life. The now damp forest rumbles with the sound of giants. This region holds the largest population of Asian elephants in Cambodia. Smaller than their African cousins, they are jungle dwellers. A matriarch, the oldest in the group, leads her female relatives in the search for lush new leaves and grass. Elephants need to eat 10% of their body weight every day. So 3/4 of their day can be spent eating. They are constantly on the move in search of food and water, sometimes traveling up to 30 kilometers in a day. The rain has also created streams, and this 3-ton herbivore needs to take care negotiating muddy hurdles. One false step could be disastrous. Her one-fingered trunk contains over 100,000 muscles and is used for many different things, including sensing the way. Giant cylindrical feet made of tough, fatty tissue act as shock absorbers. They spread her weight across the slippery ground. For this group of elephants, the showers herald a bounty of food. For the macaques, it brings an added bonus. Growing pools and streams are now a perfect playground and a place to cool off. Play helps the younger macaques form important relationships. Anything edible found in the water is stored in cheek pouches and eaten later. The rain brings relief to all the wildlife here, but for some, it has come a little too late. A red-headed vulture circles overhead. Its 2-meter wings help it glide on thermals. From several kilometers away, it has spotted what it has been searching for and quickly drops down to join the feast. Vultures are Cambodia's top scavengers, clearing up dry season casualties. White-rumped vultures secured prime position at the carcass. But with more birds turning up every minute, squabbles begin to break out. The bare red head of the red-headed vulture is unmistakable as he tucks in. Crops become full as the birds eat everything they can get hold of. A featherless head allows the sun to dry any unwanted flesh from a vulture's skin and avoids infection. Within 40 minutes, all that is left is a pile of bones. Insects swarm on the remains, and the tiny scraps of meat feed a whole new cycle of life. June has arrived, and the summer brings with it the full force of the monsoon. The deluge hits Cambodia. The rain transforms streams. Rivers rage. And waterfalls overflow. All this water empties into one massive river, the mighty Mekong, the Mother River. One of the world's great rivers, it flows south over 4,900 kilometers through China, Myanmar, Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, and finally Vietnam. In northern Cambodia, it goes through a dramatic transformation. It is the most biodiverse river system on Earth, after the Amazon. And during the monsoon, the Mekong floods and becomes a giant. It increases in size by 20 times and rises by up to 10 meters. The annual change has meant that important ecosystems have evolved. Like the areas of flooded forest that now litter the landscape. Millions of fish are migrating down the Mekong, through these submerged trees to get to Tonle Sap Lake, where they will breed and spawn. But predators lurk in these waters. One of the rarest reptiles in the world has moved in, the Siamese crocodile. Only 250 are left in the wild, and nearly all are found in the Mekong Basin and wetlands of Cambodia. Being mainly a fish eater, it's a time of plenty. During the wet season, individuals disperse across the flooded landscape, traveling as far as 25 kilometers. The monsoon delivers another gift in the shape of an insect bloom. And insect predators are poised and ready. An orchid mantis. Evolved to hunt on and around plants, it has taken on the general shape and color of certain flowers. So good a disguise, the fly is unaware it is millimeters away from the jaws of death. Until recently, it was thought that these mantids were orchid mimics, to be able to hide and ambush their prey. Studies now prove they are actually attracting their prey by being more attractive than the very flowers they sit amongst. The green mantis doesn't have such advanced techniques, but it is equally as deadly. The secret to its success is its eyesight, much sharper than many other insects. Two large compound eyes sit at the edges of a triangle head, which can turn 180 degrees. Three smaller, simple eyes sit in the middle. It gives the mantis a 300-degree field of vision, and at close range, it becomes 3D. When it spots prey, several facets of its eyes line up. A black dot that resembles a pupil. It's deadly accurate. But mantids also have a dark side. Wandering into another one's patch is a very risky affair. Mantids are highly territorial. Intrusions are rarely tolerated. In the blink of an eye, it's all over. Front legs with rows of spikes ensure the intruder won't get away. Cannibalism is common among mantids, and nothing will go to waste. Cutting and chewing jaws make quick work of dissecting the unfortunate individual. Within minutes, scouting ants home in. Literally taking food from its mouth, they are after protein to take back to the nest. A wing and a leg will do just fine. The huge swollen river continues to flow south through the Mekong lowlands. The monsoon climate has made the forests of this region hot and very humid. For the Asian elephants here, it can be hard to cool down. They use their smaller ears as African elephants do. Flapping cools the blood flowing through them, and this helps regulate their body temperature. Highly social and emotional creatures, they often touch each other with their trunks, reinforcing family bonds. Due to the heavy rains, previously dry riverbeds are flowing once again. The matriarch leads her family to take a refreshing dip. Elephants enjoy swimming and are very at home in the water. They can submerge using their trunk to breathe. Their trunk can also hold a remarkable 10 litres, about 1/20th of what they need to drink in a day. High above the river, the trees hide a very unusual-looking primate. As the branches sway, they reveal the painted face of a black-shanked duke. These stunning langurs are only found in eastern Cambodia and southwestern Vietnam. The Cambodian forests are home to the largest known population. They are predominantly arboreal, living their life in the trees. With a break in the rain, the troop makes the most of the opportunity to forage. Leaves make up the majority of their diet, and like all leaf eaters, they have a special stomach to help break the cellulose down. Unripe fruit is also a favorite food, and now it's the wet season, more fruit will be on their menu. Their food gives these monkeys all the water they need. Babies still relying on mum for milk have to hold on. To find the tenderest leaves and unripe fruit, the group needs to move from tree to tree. But they're built for this. 40 meters up, long hind legs propel them across large gaps, and a long tail helps them balance. The younger members of the family have to follow, or face being left behind. But they too are experts at getting about up here. Back on the ground below them, an Asiatic black bear is out foraging. This forest is one of the small pockets of habitat in Cambodia where it still exists. Some Asiatic black bears hibernate, but the climate here means it never needs to. Twice the weight of a man and reaching nearly 2 meters in height, this bear is primarily active during the day. Incredibly, it seems to be able to shift its body clock in order to eat whatever food is available. Due to the white crescent marking on the chest, this bear is also called a moon bear. Every bear's moon is different in color and shape. It has an acute sense of smell and uses it to sniff out anything it can eat. Its very varied diet depends on the season. Capable of sniffing out grubs and other insects up to 1 meter below the surface, its 5-centimeter claws make easy work of digging down to reach them. This bear, like all bears, really does love honey. It can smell a giant honeybee's nest from 5 kilometers away. Honey is packed full of energy, so it's a journey worth making. By the height of the monsoon, the volume of water traveling south is so large that when the Mekong meets the swollen Tonle Sap River, the water is pushed back upstream and floods the Great Lake of Cambodia. For most of the year, Tonle Sap Lake is less than 3,000 square kilometers and just 1 meter deep. But in the wet season, it becomes 9 meters deep and grows to over 5 times the size. This expansion floods surrounding fields and forests, and many more areas of flooded forest are created. It's home to millions of breeding fish and colonies of nesting waterbirds. The lake is also home to many communities living in floating villages. These move with the water and disperse more widely when it's flooded. Over 1 million people live here, making their living by fishing. Local fishermen are still allowed to fish at this time of year, but large-scale fishing is illegal. Burmese pythons inhabit the forests around the lake. But the flood has given them a problem. If they are to eat, they need to continually get to other patches of trees where they can hunt their prey of mammals and birds. They now find themselves with large areas of water to cross. However, these snakes have a solution. Burmese pythons are excellent swimmers. Using their 7-meter-long bodies to snake across the surface, they can travel big distances. But some distances are just too big. And sometimes these snakes get into trouble. Help comes in an unlikely form. Unsuspecting fishermen provide unexpected safety. Their boat gives the snakes somewhere to climb out and rest. Stowing away, they can even get a free ride to a new hunting ground. Another primate of Cambodia, inhabiting the forests around Tonle Sap, could be on its menu. Germain's silver langurs are the acrobats of the forest west of the Mekong River. Agility is the key to their survival, and they are perfectly designed for their world. Hands and feet have opposable thumbs and toes, which make climbing effortless. They can walk the thinnest branches and make huge leaps between trees. Babies quickly learn the ropes. These langurs are able to feed on much tougher and more mature leaves than other langurs. This is possible thanks to an unusually long intestine and specially adapted grinding teeth. However, it still takes time to digest it all. Because of their unique diet, silver langurs are more commonly found lower down the canopy. They leave the higher branches to monkeys who need young leaves and fruit. Cambodia is a land of surprises. And at the northern tip of the Great Tonle Sap Lake lies one of the most spectacular. The ancient kingdom of Angkor. Angkor Wat Temple was the seat of the Khmer Empire over 800 years ago. A powerful realm that reigned for centuries and that built a megacity filled with hundreds of temples. Nearly 1 million people lived within it, and their survival was dependent on rivers and the monsoon rains. Angkor's location wasn't chosen for religious or cultural significance, but for access to Cambodia's water. They built a complex system of dikes, canals, and bridges, and reservoirs called barrays. They perfected the art of harnessing water. But being so reliant on the yearly rains was their ultimate downfall. Failing monsoons and extreme drought caused the Khmer civilization to collapse. These temples were once bustling. Now only a few Buddhist monks come to pray and contemplate. Something else has moved in. Long-tailed macaques have made the ruins their sanctuary. Like the Khmer people before them, these macaques rely on the waterways and pools. They need to drink daily, and preferring forested areas near water, this oasis allows them to thrive. Temple walls are trails. Abandoned stones are a playground. Their life here appears safe, easy, and tranquil. The troop is large, over 60 strong. And the good life means infants are plentiful. Young are nursed until they're a year old, when they will become independent foragers. Some of Angkor's crumbling temples are no longer of any use to man. They have been swallowed back up by the jungle. Transforming them into surreal and spellbinding places. These jungle temples have been reclaimed by the wildlife, and at night, one of their most bizarre inhabitants comes out to hunt. Weaver ants living here will aggressively defend their territories against any intruders. But one predator is well prepared. Despite its reptilian appearance, the Sunda pangolin is actually an insect-eating nocturnal mammal. Its body is covered by an armor of hard overlapping scales made of keratin. It is the only known mammal with this adaptation. They thrive on a diet of ants and termites, but having poor vision, they rely on a strong sense of smell to find them. This individual has picked up the scent. Pangolins have a prehensile tail, which helps them get around in the branches. Homing in on the nest, the ants stand little chance against a half-meter-long tongue, covered in sticky saliva. They come out attacking, but it is futile. Pangolins can close their nostrils and ears, and thick lids protect their eyes. Having no teeth, ants are swallowed whole. A stomach lined with spines helps to crush them. Up to 200,000 ants a night can be consumed. But fortunately for the ants, each raid lasts no more than a minute or two. Some of the wildlife that has made a home here is as magical as the temples themselves. Sunlight warms the air, and a tree nymph caterpillar climbs its favorite plant. Dogbane. These plants are in an arms race against the leaf eaters, filling their leaves with toxins to stop them being eaten. But it doesn't always work. The poison they produce actually makes them more desirable to a tree nymph caterpillar. It carefully severs the stem carrying the toxins, limiting the amount it consumes when eating the leaf. Too much would be lethal. In this way, the caterpillar itself becomes toxic to predators, just like the plant. After about 2 weeks, the caterpillar has doubled in size. It weaves a silk pad on a leaf and suspends itself using barbed hooks. What happens next is a biological miracle. A hard cocoon protects it as cells slowly change and it starts to transform. 2 weeks later, the metamorphosis is complete. And a stunning butterfly enters the world. The tree nymph. Slowly it pumps blood into its wings. They take a few minutes to dry, then it's time for the first flight. But freedom is short-lived. An orb weaver spiderweb snares it. The outcome seems inevitable, but all is not what it seems. Something about the butterfly doesn't taste quite right. Surprisingly, the spider cuts its captive free. The poison that was in the caterpillar is now in the butterfly, and this has saved its life. The temple ruins will be its home until it finds a mate, sows the seeds of the next generation, and then dies. Cambodia is an enchanting country, full of mystery, incredible landscapes, and an abundance of wildlife. Water and the monsoon has dictated life here for centuries, building empires and watching them fall. The yearly drought and immense flood that ebbs and flows continues to mold this country and its creatures. Sitting in the heart of the lower Mekong basin, the biodiversity of this land is vast and precious, with many endangered species having found a place in which to survive. Cambodia's unique forests, grasslands and wetlands, and the Mother River have all allowed wildlife here to flourish and thrive.